Mr. C here. I'd like to do something with the holidays, and after a brief discussion with some of you, I come to the thought of, why don't we go ahead and do an insane Christmas ornament that I give away to you. Now I want to tell you a little bit about this. This one happens to be something that's kind of neat. It's a mixture of a wood product, which is our trusty here pine cone, and epoxy resins. And you're going to win this, or have the opportunity to win this, by just giving us a thumbs up and giving us a comment. And Mrs. C and I are going to go through the comments, and whoever has the best comment that she likes, that's who's going to win this. And then we either make arrangements for you to pick it up, or I can drop it off at your home. But I'll be honest, Mrs. C's be the one that picks this, won't be me. So let's just go ahead and start with this project. I just took an empty sports drink bottle. I have my trusty scalpel. This is typically what I use for cutting open and working with veneers. Just want to go ahead and cut this bad boy open. Just trying to be as careful as I possibly can with this because it is super sharp. It is a scalpel. And I just want it enough where I can take the bottom and slide the bottom open so you can just insert the pine cone. Okay. Looks like a little bit of remnants of water in there. Okay. What I did was I took a little bit of fishing line and attached it to the center here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to flip this upside down. I guess it would be helpful to have a little bit of weight on this, so maybe if I just take this, wrap this around. Tape this to this so it goes through the mouth, right? And we have to make this pine cone fit. I want it suspended just a little bit in here. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to tape the bottom, and then I'll shrink wrap it. So I'm just going to take this. I want to try and hold it in the same joint where it came out from, right? So I have the tape on here. Move my scalpel all the way because it's pretty sharp, extremely sharp. I'm going to shrink wrap this nice and tight on here so I don't get any epoxy leaking out. So shrink wraps in here, it's nice and tight. I'm going to take this and set this off to the side just like this. There. Have that centered in here, as you can see. Now what we have to do is we have to go ahead and mix up our epoxy. Now what I've done here is I have a 2-part epoxy, and I need 2 pumps of resin to every 1 pump of hardener, and that is the ratio for this. So it's going to take several batches is what I would call it. So there's 2 depressions there. You have to make sure this comes all the way out. 1 there. 1, 2. 1. 1, 2. 1. And then what I'll be doing is I'll mix this up really thoroughly. And then what I'll do is I'm going to add a pearlescent dye to it, so that way it can kind of have a little shimmer to it. And luckily I have one of these cans left over from the culinary arts department. So right here I have all the epoxy in here. I think I'm probably going to need 1 more batch. Now this will turn into plastic when it's all said and done. Okay, now my utensil here happens to be my mixing item. So I'm going to take this off to the side, and then what I can do is I can feed the end of the fishing line through the cap. Let's see if I can see it. Holy cow. So I'm going to set the tape on here so that way I can locate it easily. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to take the epoxy and I'm going to just stir this up just like this for a couple minutes, because I need this to mix really, really thoroughly. Okay. Looking at this, it looks like I probably need 1 more batch. So do 2 depressions of this resin. One hardener. Now this is a slow set epoxy resin, so it's going to get extremely hard. But I do find that if I mix this really, really, really thoroughly, it doesn't take multiple days. It takes about 8 to 10 hours, and it will get completely hard. Typically, the manufacturer states that it's a 24-hour before it solidifies, but I have found that every time I mix this real, real thoroughly, that it has completely dried, completely hardened in about 8 hours. So maybe a little bit later on, we can go ahead and start turning this. So I mix this up really, really, really good. Now what I want to do is I'm going to pull this out and just set it right here, not on my bench top. It's on a scrap piece of wood. And then I have this pearlescent coat, pearlescent dye. These you can find online. You don't need a ton of this. This is all I need is just 1 little of these scoopfuls. The manufacturer of this product provides you this little spoon or shovel, little itty bitty guy shovel. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix in the pearlescent. As you can see, this. Let me grab the camera so you can see this real good. Okay. Okay. What I'm going to do over the next couple of minutes is I'm just going to stir this. I'm not going to have you watch this. And I'll bring you back when I'm ready to pour this in so you can see exactly how this looks. Okay? All right. So I'll see you in a few minutes. All right? Bye.